Coming up, vetting of new ministers underway with Stephen Amoah Boateng promising to advocate codification of chieftaincy succession plans. Ghana gives final approval of sale of controlling stake in Vodafone to Telecel. And the legal tussle between Northton MP Samuel Ablakwa and Rev Kusi Boateng, Secretary of the National Cathedral Board of Trustees, continues. The contempt application part came up in court today and has been adjourned. Welcome to Graphic Online's News in Brief. The vetting of new ministerial nominees continued in Parliament today after 3 of them were vetted yesterday. The last nominee for yesterday, Mr. Stephen Amoah Boateng, raised issues with the lack of proper codification of chieftaincy lineage and succession plans. He promised to be an advocate of that when confirmed as the Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs Minister. Mr. Stephen Amoah Boateng said a lineage and succession plan document will help address the numerous protracted chieftaincy disputes across the country. A well-researched research to codify and itemize succession family lineage would help stop people from circumventing or distorting chieftaincy succession plans. Chieftaincy institutions are the custodians of traditional value and norms that should be upheld. Chieftaincy lineage and succession plans must therefore be well documented and published in the Chieftaincy Bulletin, he said. Today, the Member of Parliament for Nshaeso in Kumasi, Dr. Stephen Amoah, who has been nominated as Deputy Minister for Trade and Industry, and Obi Amoah, elevated to the status of a Minister of State at the local government ministry, also appeared before the appointment committee.
What do you think has accounted for this failure of our local government authorities to become economic development units, so that when you aggregate it nationally, we can have better economic development?
If you look at Constitution and the Local Governance Act, it spells out that this should be centers of local economic development. It's in the Local Governance Act. And indeed, in the ministry, policy on local economic development has been developed. For every meeting that we have of the chief executives of the assemblies, this is one major issue which comes up. Indeed, as we speak, the Institute of Local Government Studies has a whole document on the local economic development of each district, sector by sector, those who are developing agric, tourism, business models, etc. So it's not that nothing is not being done at all.
In the telecom sector, a final approval has been given by Ghana for the transfer of the 70% majority shares in Vodafone Ghana held by Vodafone Group PLC to Telecel Group. The approval for the sale was given after Telecel submitted a revised financial and technical proposal in December 2022.
Honorable Chairman, I think the issue with 1D1F in summary has become a household name because of its tremendous impact on our socio-economic framework as a country. The impact can be seen in the area of employment. Tens of thousands of young people, including women, have been employed as a result of the 1D1F. Apart from that, we have about 126 companies in operations. What I mean is that completed and they are working. We can talk of Casapreco. Mr. Chairman, when I talk of Casapreco, sometimes people think it was an existing company. But then what I mean is diversification, creating new businesses, and a lot more. Ekumfi, we know what they are doing today. We have a lot of them, Sunda, different places. In almost all the regions, we have 1D1F that has employed a lot of people. Some are even doing exportation. That means it has reduced our import-driven economy, which has been one of the major challenges confronting us.
A contempt of court application filed against the Member of Parliament for Northton Samuel Ablakwa by the General Secretary of the National Cathedral Board of Trustees, Rev Kusi Boateng, has been adjourned. Rev Kusi Boateng has filed a defamation suit against Mr. Ablakwa. The sector regulator, the National Communications Authority, had turned down an initial sale plan submitted by Vodafone Ghana early last year as it did not meet the required regulatory standards. The NCA said that the revised proposal provided more clarity on funding required for the transaction and met the regulatory threshold. In a release Tuesday morning, The NCA explained that the final approval follows satisfaction of conditions outlined in the conditional approval of the shares transfer, including the agreement of the government of Ghana, who remains a 30% minority shareholder. The $500 million all-cash deal is part of Telecel's expansion strategy into Africa. A contempt of court application filed against the Member of Parliament for Nocturne Samuel Kujeto Ablakwa by the General Secretary of the National Cathedral Board of Trustees, Rev Kusi Boateng, has been adjourned. Rev Kusi Boateng has filed a defamation suit against Mr. Ablakwa. Rev Kusi Boateng had applied to the Accra High Court for the court to restrain Mr. Ablakwa from further publishing his personal data on social media. However, when the court's bailiff attempted to serve Mr. Ablakwa at the premises of Metro TV, he rejected the documents with the explanation that he was on his way to Parliament and therefore the bailiff should follow the proper procedure in serving members of Parliament with court processes. When the case came up today, the court established that Mr. Ablakwa has not been properly served with the court processes and therefore directed that he should be served properly. The case has been adjourned indefinitely until Mr. Ablakwa is served properly. Thank you for watching. For more news, please visit our website graphic.com.gh or follow us on Facebook at Daily Graphic and on YouTube and Twitter at GraphicGH. My name is Juliet Echa Safo.